Hello boys and girls, and welcome to the second video in our math lessons for today. Again, we are doing lesson 8.1, which is titled Measure with Inch Models, and our essential question that we're thinking to ourselves, and at the end of this lesson we are going to be answering, how can you use inch models to measure length? So in other words, how are we going to take 1-inch tools and use them to measure different objects? And if you remember, I had you kind of find your 1-inch tool that you were going to use and measure some objects in your house. And so today we're actually going to be learning how exactly to use the tool to measure different objects. So this first slide here just says use the color tiles to measure the length. So we have some objects here. I forget what the video called them, but I like to call these things pipe cleaners because that's what they remind me of. So we're going to use the tiles, the color tiles, to measure the different pipe cleaners here. So I'm just going to start with the first one, which is a green one. And remember, I'm going to line up the edge of my tile with the edge of, or the end of the pipe cleaner. Okay, and so I'm just going to keep adding tiles until I get to the very edge of the pipe cleaner. Now remember, I'm using tiles and I'm not having any space in between the tiles. Okay. Alright, so I got one there. It's not exact, but I could have probably moved them around a little bit, but that's pretty close to measuring the whole pipe cleaner. And so we can see that I used 1, 2, 3 tiles. So this pipe cleaner is 3 color tiles long. Now let's try this one. So again, I'm going to put it right at the edge, and then I'm going to keep adding color tiles. Each one is going to be right next to the other, no spaces in between. Alright, and I'm just going to keep adding the tiles until I get all the way to pretty much the very edge of the pipe cleaner. Okay, so I think we kind of have to make sure that they are moved a little bit, so that way it's kind of like on the end of the pipe cleaner. There we go, that's a little bit better. Okay, and so now we can see that this pipe cleaner is 1, 2, 3, 4 color tiles long. Alright, perfect. And then the last one, again, I'm going to put my color tile, I'm going to put it right at that line there. And I'm going to take the other one, and I'm going to put it right there. And from this, we can see that this pipe cleaner is 2 color tiles long. So it's just that simple. You really just have to put whatever tool you're using, you just kind of have to put one in front of the other, make sure that they're touching, and that's how you kind of measure an object. Again, remember that the edge of your tool should be also at the very end of whatever object you're measuring. Okay? So now let's look here. So it says a color tile is about 1 inch long. About how many inches long is the string? So over here it says count the color tiles to find how many inches long the string is. So if one tile is 1 inch, then we can simply count each tile to see how many inches long that whole string is. Okay, so if you count with me, you'll notice that 1, 2, 3, 4 tiles are here to measure that string. So again, if each color tile is 1 inch long and we use 4 color tiles, then the string is 4 color tiles long, so the string is about 4 inches long. Okay? So now let's try it here. So again, it says use color tiles, measure the length of each object in inches. So remember, each tile that we use is going to be 1 inch. So let's start with the first one. So we're just going to, again, do exactly what we did before. We're going to use the tiles. We're going to put them close together so that they're touching and that there's no space in between. And once we get to the very end of the object, we should know how many inches the object is. Okay, so this first one, we used 1, 2, 3 color tiles. If each color tile is 1 inch, then that means that this object is 3 inches long. So we're going to put 3 inches for that one. All right, let's do the next one. So again, we're just going to take our tiles, Put it at the very beginning of the object. Just going to keep adding some. There's a little space in that one. So making sure that there's no space is very, very important, because then you won't get an accurate measurement if you have spaces in between your tiles. Okay? All right, so now we've filled this whole string with tiles. Now let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this object is about 5 inches because we used 5 colored tiles, and each colored tile is 1 inch. All right, and then we got our last one here, a pretty short one, so let's see. Okay, and so in this string, we only needed 2 color tiles. So 1, 2, so if each color tile is 2 inches long, then we know that the string is about 2 inches. Okay? Let's try a couple more examples. So again, we're going to use the color tiles, and we're going to measure the length of each object in inches. So I'm going to take my 1-inch tiles, make sure again there's no kind of space in between them. All right, and so this one also used 2 tiles. Each tile is 2 inches, or I'm sorry, each tile is 1 inch. So because we have 2, then this object is 2 inches. This looks like a bike chain, so we're going to measure how long this bike chain is going to be with our tiles. So I'm just going to keep adding some tiles. And this one's not going to be exact. It might be a little bit about, you can see that there's a little bit of space here, but if we were to add another tile, that would be longer than the chain. So we can always just estimate. That's what we call estimating. We say about. So it's about this many inches. So let's count how many tiles we have here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we can say that this chain is about 4 inches. It's not quite 4 inches. It's actually a little bit longer. But it's not 5 inches. We know that for a fact. So we can say it's about 4 inches. All right? And then let's measure our last one here. This one's a long one. So we're going to need a lot of tiles for this. Making sure there's no spaces in between my tiles. Okay. All right, and so again, this one's probably not going to be exact. It also could be because some of my tiles might be overlapping, but it's okay. We can still figure out about how many inches it is. So let's count how many tiles we used. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we can say that this object is about 6 inches long. Okay? Now, here's a little tricky word problem. Let's see if we can figure this one out together. So it says, Liza has a piece of ribbon that is 12 inches long. She needs to cut it into pieces that are 4 inches long. How many pieces can she make? So we're going to use what we know first. So first we know that she has a piece of ribbon that is 12 inches long. So if we're using 1-inch tiles to measure our objects, we can represent the 12-inch ribbon by using 12 tiles. So I'm going to make 12 tiles going right next to each other to kind of represent our 12-inch ribbon. Okay? So I have 4 there now. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think I'm going to run out of room for a little bit, but that's okay. We'll just kind of pretend that it's adding on. Okay. So let's just pretend that this is one long piece of ribbon. Okay, 12-inch long ribbon. Now it says that Liza needs to cut it into pieces that are 4 inches long. So in order to do that, Liza's going to need to cut up this 12-inch ribbon into 4-inch ribbons. And so remember, we use tiles that are 1 inch long each. So if she wants to cut it into 4-inch pieces of ribbon, then we can simply just put a line in between every 4 tiles. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we can make a line like this. Okay, so that would be 1 4-inch piece of ribbon. Let's see if we can do any more. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so now we have 2 4-inch ribbons right there. All right, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. We have another 4-inch piece of ribbon. So if she wanted to take this 12-inch long ribbon and turn it into 4-inch long ribbons, she could have 3 pieces. 1, 2, and 3. Okay? All right, and so then our last problem says, Jeremy used color tiles to measure a string. Which is the best choice for the length of the string? So he used 3 tiles, it seems like, right? But the string only went to about the second one. It looks like it might be a little bit over, or it might be a little bit short. But so anyway, so again, each tile is 1 inch. He used 3, but the string only goes to about the second tile. So therefore, our answer could say that which is the best choice for the length of the string? We can say that the string is about 2 inches, right? Because again, it goes right to that second tile. Doesn't go to the third one. It's not short enough to just be 1 tile, right? And 4 inches, well, the string doesn't even go to 3 inches, so it definitely can't be 4 inches. So the best answer here would be about 2 inches. Okay? All right, my friends, so hopefully that helped you out a little bit more, seeing some examples on how to use 1-inch tools to measure different objects. I think you guys are now good to go and complete the assignment on Think Central for 8.1. So you can sign into Think Central and do that assignment. And again, hopefully this helped you, and hopefully you are now master measurers using a 1-inch tool to measure different objects. Okay, everybody? Good luck on your math assignment.